Hey, Shalom, Makiam, Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kal HaKadosh. I want to send double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I want to send much peace, love, and salutations to you. I'm out there pushing the words in sincerity and truth. This is the brother Ariala. In this lesson, I want to title it Learn to Think. Learn to think. Okay? One of the biggest things that the apostles and elders was always talking to us about, and still do, is you must learn to think on your own. We can't hold your hand on every single thought that you have or every single action that you're gonna need to take in certain times. I remember when we would, just make mistakes or make decisions that didn't have a lot of foresight. The apostles would tell us, hey, you brothers got to learn how to think. You got to learn how to think, man. And so this is something that I just wanted to do a lesson on and talk about a little bit. You have young brothers in the camp, as you leaders and brothers that are heads of camps. You want to make sure that you're not spoon feeding everyone. Brothers that are on the other side, that are listening, that are watching, you kind of spoon feed them. They're inquisitive. They want to know certain things. But brothers that have crossed over into the camp, you want to make sure that they're coming to the table with thoughts and thinking on their own. A brother come asking you a question, the question should be, well, did you look it up? What do you think? What conclusion have you come to so far? What are your thoughts on that? When a brother coming at you with a problem, what are some of the solutions that you have? What have you thought? What are some of the pros and the cons that you thought about? Have you thought about these things? Have you meditated on these things yet? These scriptures and what we're learning here is meant to help you become an independent thinker in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? I'm gonna read this verse actually. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 12. It says, For when ye for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as need of milk, and not of strong drink. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. So one of the things that I want to take note of is when it says senses exercise. You got to have your senses exercise, and how do you do that? You got to have experiences. You're gonna go through experiences. You're gonna have to do some things. We see that word in the Greek, gymnasio. We know that word, but the whole point of it is that you have to have your senses exercised by going through certain things. Okay, you got to put your mindset and your thinking cap on as you go through different things in life, experiences. We want to make sure that brothers are having experiences in the truth. I don't care if it's somebody who's just crossed over into the camp and they might be 50 years old. Their senses are not exercised in the truth, in the word of righteousness, because they have not been using that layer of thinking. They might have been exercised in the world and might have worldly experiences that translate, but as far as the conducting themselves within this ministry, still learning how to make those wise choices, right? All through the Spirit. When you look in the book of Sirach, the 34th chapter, and you skip down, okay, into the 9th verse, it says, A man that have traveled knoweth many things, and he that have much experience will declare wisdom. He that have no experience knoweth little, but he that have traveled is full of prudence. When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understand more than I can express. Okay? And so as you travel, as you make your journey through this truth, you do what? You have different counsels, you have different situations, you're learning from brothers. So you're picking up all these experiences as you travel your journey in this truth. And what happens? Your senses get exercised, right? So you move from being a babe to becoming a full age in the Spirit. You go from the milky type of things to more meatier type of things. But you got to have a mindset of that. One of the examples that we like to use is in the book of Acts, the 17th chapter, speaking on the Bereans. The 11th verse says, these were more noble than those in Thessalonica, and that they received the word with all readiness of the mind, right? And searched the scriptures daily whether these things were so. Okay? Now, as you're skipping up, it says, and the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, whom coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews. So it's talking about the Bereans and how they were more noble than those in Thessalonica. Okay? Why? Because they searched the scriptures daily whether things were so. And so we have to make sure that we're staying in a studious mindset. We're making sure that we're studying, we're looking through things, we're paying attention so that our senses are exercised therewith, okay? 2 Peter 1 and 10 says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail. Also, we know the scriptures that talk about study to show thyself approved. Okay? Don't over spoon feed the camp. Don't over, baby people. Brothers need to learn how to think. We are coming into a time where things are going to be unknown. I see some of the questions that brothers have. Well, if they do a COVID-19 test, am I going to jump out of a window? Look, man, you got to learn how to think, man. No one's going to be there all the time to tell you what to do in every single situation. Right now we're in this grace period. You should be taking heed to certain things. So whenever you come into an unknown situation, which it will happen, you can think. Okay? That's important. 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Verse 13, it says, which things we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. He that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judge of no man. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're refining and becoming more keen in our decision making and thought processes. Learn to think. Okay, learn to think, and the only way you can learn to think for some of you guys, you got to get more involved. You got to get more involved with the day-to-day tasks of the camp. You got to get more involved and be around brothers that do have experience. Figure out a way to get around those men. Okay, figure out a way. It's okay to ask questions, but you're asking questions to get the overall mindset, not to be spoon-fed. You want to get the overall mindset, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. I see this happen in the scriptures. This is what the Most High liked. Okay, that reminds me of this situation right here that I'm living out right now. This brother went through this. This was the counsel that he received. I'm going through this situation, and it's somewhat similar. So through the Spirit, I'm going to move like this. And if you ain't sure about it, take that and ask. Well, brother, I had this situation going on. I was thinking this and this and this. What do you think? Don't just, can you tell me what to do? I don't know. Learn how to think. We're coming to a time where you need to learn how to think. All of us, okay? This is the book of Philippians, the 4th chapter, 8th verse, says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do. And the Most High peace shall be with you. What are you doing? You're paying attention. You're growing. You're learning. You're absorbing, and you're acting on it. Okay? The things that you've learned, received, heard, and seen, do. Duplicate. Are you duplicatable? Are you coachable? Hmm? Are you able to be discipled? Or you just beating a sword on a rock, dulling a sword? Okay? Don't be that guy. Pay attention. Learn to think. Upgrade. All right? And this is going to be going on all the time as we have more and more experiences. Okay? Let's go up. First, First Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "For our exhortation was not of deceit, nor of uncleanness, nor of guile." We ain't trying to trick you or just, you know, but as we were allowed of the Most High to be put in trust with the gospel, even so we speak, not as pleasing men, but the Most High, which trieth our hearts. For neither at any time use we flattering words, as ye know, nor a cloak of covetousness. The Most High is witness. Nor of men sought we glory, neither of you, nor yet of others, when we might have been burdensome as the apostles of Hamashiach. Okay? But we were gentle among you, even as a nurse cherisheth her children. So being affectionately desirous of you, we were willing to have imparted unto you, not the gospel of the Most High only, but also our own souls, because ye were dear unto us. Okay? And so this is what's happening. The gospel is going out. This knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is being brought forth, poured down out of love, out of the want for the kingdom, out of the want for the nation to be risen back up. Are you taking heed? Are you absorbing these things? Are you applying these things to your life? Are you learning how to think? Okay? Are you learning how to be balanced and spiritually discerned in different matters? Are you paying attention to the stories that brothers talk about? One of the things that brothers need to make sure to listen to, when the apostles and elders, they go into the stories, listen to the story. You know, you can learn a lot from the experiences of other men if you're paying attention. Okay. Now, for those of you that have found pages where there's used to be, when apostles and elders used to do their sit downs up in the Ponderosa, where they had the backdrop. I think it said the downfall of America is the blue backdrop with the white wording. Man, some of those lessons are the best lessons, because I would love it when the apostles did get off and go on a tangent on just an old story from back in the old school, and it was either like, just a situation that might have happened, a lesson that was learned, just how they studied back in the old school. I was paying attention to all of those things, and you should, brothers, too, because from those experiences, you can upgrade a lot, man. You can upgrade a lot. So, and so take those things and grow from those things and learn to think. Learn to think. We're in a time where you should not be waiting all the time for someone to tell you when to breathe, when to move, how to help. When we do. Well, what you think from the last 80 million times that we've done this, brother? What do you think? And I'm not saying this thing to talk down on anybody, or but I'm saying learn to think. Okay? First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 1 says, "Furthermore, then we beseech you, brethren, and exhort you by the Lord Yahushua, that as ye have received of us how ye ought to walk and to please the Most High, so ye would abound more and more." More and more. Okay? We're all taking these things, these lessons, these teachings, these testimonials, these experiences. You take it and you learn to walk and you abound more and more. And we see that, we see some brothers, young brothers coming up, and brothers are sharp. Okay? But I'm exhorting brothers to make sure that we're taking these experiences in this time in this pocket of prophecy, and you're paying attention roundabout. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on that, man. Bring out a few scriptures and highlight that, man. Lord willing is edifying. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kadash. Double honors once again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you. I'm out there pushing the word in sincerity and truth. Hey, shalom. You sisters too. Sisters, learn to think. Jeez. Shalom.